I'm Kerrie Stanley.
And I'm Dolly Diamond.
And welcome to Kerrie and Dolly.
Oh, what a night on the way.
Are
you ready?
Oh, so ready, honey. It's our second last episode
Yes.
for our current format, but bah, it's a biggie.
It is, isn't it? Well, everybody wants to be on and we love that.
I thought you were going to say one wants to be big.
Well, no, but we've been besieged.
It's been really lovely. What's been
Really
great,
great.
and we've said this all along, that people have reached out to us. People that have, not had a lot of exposure with their music or
Yes.
so forth, and so we get lots of messages. It's really lovely.
We love it, obviously. It gives us more content.
We like content.
We do.
And we're meeting new people, and we get to introduce all of you darling viewers out there to some new guests, which is fabulous.
Now, wherever you may be watching, we love it when you send us a little message, and you can do that on all our various platforms.
Sure can, but I'll be checking my trusty iPad to see if there's anything lovely you want to say and contribute. We read it and see it all, and if you're funny, we might even read it out.
Oh, you
No
never
pressure.
know. All right, what we need is a little bit of music to get us in the mood, and we adore this young lady, the one and only Olivia Charalambous.
Over here, try to keep it down, tucking in real tight, but it's not that easy. Since I was a child, people keep saying I've been doing too much. Mama always said, hold your head up high, you got that magic touch. So whether it's acting, comedy, body, singing, dancing, or serving 2020 realness, to show off. I don't like to show off. I keep it subtle, keep it humble, cause it's not my gig. I like to keep my talent shoved under my wig. Woo! I don't like to show off. Read my lips, all the other bitches call me a ratchet. Your wig too big, I snatch it. Go ahead and hand me the Oscar. I'm the only one on the roster. If you come for LIV, you must be an SOB. Never was a hater, then crusty, see you later, so you can unfollow me like now. I don't like to show off. I don't like to show off. I keep it subtle, keep it humble, cause it's not my gig. I like to keep my talent shoved under my wig. Woo! I don't like to show off.
Oh, now
Wow.
that's how you start a show.
What a voice.
How fabulous.
Oh.
And Ashton, we adore Ashton doing our signing. He just really gets into it. And
That was a good double act.
That was
wasn't
fun.
it? Yes.
Woman after my own heart with the pink too, so a little bit biased.
And the lovely Olivia Charalambous is going to be in Young Frankenstein. It's not, show it is. And it's on next year, so no wonder.
Yeah,
Oh, she
amazing.
works. She is good.
Yeah, that was heaps of fun. Well, our next guest, for those of you throughout Victoria may remember her as being on the Matt and Joe show, which of course was across the Fox FM network for many, many years. But Joe's gone on to do much more than that. She is one hell of a lady, and I'm so thrilled that we've been able to get her on the show as an amazing broadcast. But she's launching something very new, and we want to hear all about it.
This is Broad Radio. For you, by you. Broad Radio. Here for more.
Oh, that looks good.
I'm so excited for this because I have a little personal investment in it.
I
but
know.
but I'm such a fan of this woman, even
Excellent.
before this amazing new business has come about. But we want to hear
Yes.
all about it from the woman herself, my sister in fabulous hair, Joe Stanley. Hello.
Hello, darling. We aren't
Yeah.
related, even though we're both Stanleys, but yeah, the hair.
Not related.
No.
Unbelievable with a name like that.
Joe, we are so thrilled that you could join us. It's such an incredible venture that you're embarking on. We want to know all about it.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And Kerrie, I have to say thank you for joining me on the adventure. Dolly, thanks for loaning her to me.
Well, no, she's all yours.
I didn't have to wrestle her from your clutches.
Oh, you can. There's more of me. There's lots of me to share around,
Yes,
gals. I mean,
that's what it's all about.
it is.
though,
It's
isn't
about
it?
sharing the love,
Yes,
which is great.
we love all that.
It's true. And I have to tell you that ever since I started on this ride of creating broad radio, I have had nothing but endless support from women and men who really see this as a great opportunity to do something new and have some new conversations. And I suppose, we want to celebrate women who perhaps are older than your 35, 40-year-olds sort of that we see so much of in our media. We see the youngies a lot, and I love them dearly, but I think it's time that we had some conversations with those of us who, are juggling older children, aging parents, work, trying to work out who we are now that our children are, not needing to be attached to us. It's a really exciting thing to be able to give those women a space to talk about what it is to be who we are.
What are you learning from these women?
We're tired.
But I think we're all on that journey
Yes.
together. So it's very welcoming to have those conversations without being censored is the right word, isn't it, Joe? I know we've had many conversations leading up to this too. And it was providing that platform to go, you know what, we want to talk about menopause. We want to talk about sex. We want to talk about all of those things that may make some people feel a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, exactly right. It is a world in which you have to be polite a lot of the time in the media, and not just in the media, with my mother as well. But I think it's nice to be able to have the freedom to talk about things that might seem taboo, although you go, why are they? Why is it taboo to talk about being in your 50s and 60s and loving sex, or, whatever it might be that you don't actually see in mainstream media? It's that, as you have discovered, what a great opportunity online content and streaming is. You
Yes.
can do what you like.
Yeah.
And Joe, it's not going to be just radio. So it's not just, something you can listen to in the car or what have you. So you're providing a multimedia platform, which we are too, which is lovely.
Yeah.
So how important to you was that to be able to provide that accessibility?
Well, it's kind of new for me, actually, Kerrie. You guys are doing it so beautifully, and I've been inspired by you, and there's a few other sorts of versions of this kind of streaming show out there.
No, there isn't.
There's nothing quite like Dolly.
No, there really are. All of it. No, you're right. No, you're right. You go on.
No, you're right, but you're right, Dolly. There is nothing like you, and there's nothing like your show, as there shouldn't be. Like, it's glorious and perfect in its own way, and you wouldn't want to change a thing. People are doing their own versions of it, though, and I suppose I only have a really thought in terms of radio because that's where I was raised. That's how I understand content. But then when I saw that we could do it with vision as well, I was like, how amazing. I'm going to order a beautiful pink backdrop off the internet, and I will at some point steam that crease out of it. And, it does add a lot to your conversation, as you obviously know.
Yes. When you're younger, though, you don't imagine what's going to go on, do you? It doesn't matter. You're too busy being young and enjoying that. This is obviously a niche for a lot of women. A lot of women. They want to know all about it. I want to know about the name Broad Radio.
Well, we're for a broad audience, because whilst people might think it's niche, women are sort of 50% of the population, so
Yes.
it's not exactly niche. So it's broad audience, but also we're broads, aren't we?
Yes.
Yes, I love it.
Love
It's such a
that.
great name. And apart from myself, which I'm so thrilled to be a part of, the people that you're getting on to be presenters and hosts and storytellers, where are they coming from? Are they people that you've known, of course, in the media background, or just people you're meeting as well?
There's a few that I've wrestled at the tram stop and just insisted they join me. Angela Pipos I've known forever. She's just a brilliant broadcaster and documentary maker, and her knowledge of sport, particularly women in sport, really I think is so valuable. I mean, how amazing down the track when we're a full 24/7 station to have a whole show about women's sport, not just a headline, not just one little sort of mention in the news, but actually, you know, a Saturday morning show about women's sport. That would be amazing. And, you know, I've known forever. Kerrie, I've known you forever, darling, and I'm blessed to have. Other people, Kirsty Wiebeck, brilliant comedian. She's joining us. And I guess I kind of became a fan of hers on Twitter. And we sort of then once were at a party at Joel Creasy's, which you can imagine that was quite an event.
That could have been quite the party, I can imagine.
Been there, done that. I'm still
know.
getting over it. Still getting over it. I want to know, on your wish list, who is it?
Well, as a guest for the first show, we've thrown around a lot of really great names. I actually just sent an email to Tina Arena's people today.
Oh, yes.
Good. That's a good one.
That's a good
Lovely.
one.
Yeah.
Well, do you know why? Because I'm thinking of women who are of our age group and who perhaps may have experienced that sense of being overlooked. And I think that she's just not received the kind of love that she should have you know, she's brilliant, and doesn't sort of get the same kind of airplay that I think she deserves. So she kind of was the top of my list. And I mean, I dream big, so I put Kylie Minogue on there.
Oh,
Why
that's
would you not?
definitely going to happen. Absolutely.
Yes.
She'll be across all that. But of course, it's not just the celebrities or the people in the public eye that, you know, we want to have conversations with. It is every woman. It is every person. Everybody has a story. And I think that's what's really wonderful about having a platform like this, Joe. We are going to be hearing those stories, however that looks, which is really exciting.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Kerrie. We're going to have a phone number that people can call live. How old school is that? It's very
Love it.
Radio talkback. So that's 1300-8 when we're up and running. You can give us a call. And so it's kind of traditional talkback in a way, but with pictures.
Oh, this is going to be good.
I know, fantastic. So, Joe, when are we launching?
5th of January.
Yay!
Yes.
Wow.
It's
not
scary,
long now.
It is a scary
Not long.
No, it's not long, but we'll be okay.
Oh,
Yes, I know. There'll be lots of sleepless nights between now and then, I imagine, Joe, but we are super thrilled and excited to be a part of it as well. And we can't wait to see it on the airwaves and to hear you on our ears and listen to you on your podcast and all of those kind of things. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we'll be speaking to you soon.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be a part of your beautiful show. Thank you.
Really nice. Really, what a lovely lady. And well done to you, my love.
Thank you.
Really well done.
You know, and this really came about from being on this show.
Yeah.
I mean, I have known Joan socially over the years. I've dressed her for the races and we've met through ABC and so forth. But it's really been on KERRIE and Dolly that really brought me to her attention. And I'm really pleased with that.
Well, you earned it. You know,
Thank you.
you've literally just walked all over me to get to where you need to be. And that is the way to do it. That's showbiz, people. No, well done.
Thank you,
Really,
honey.
really
Yeah, I'm
well
really
done.
excited for it.
All right. Well, you know what we've got to do?
We need to see Judy.
Judy in the newsroom, are you there?
Judy Kelly from Joy News with an optimist bent on what's making news this week. The Victorian state budget was delivered this week, with Treasurer Tim Pallas announcing $3 million for the LGBTIQA+ community. $1 million will be provided for the Community Grants Programme, with 30% of those grants to be allocated to regional and rural areas. The budget also included $2 million for LGBTIQ+ organisations and businesses which have been impacted by the coronavirus pandemic. The funding is in addition to the state government's ongoing support for the construction of the Victorian Pride Centre. Next Tuesday, December 1st, is World AIDS Day, a day to show support for people living with HIV and to remember those who have died of AIDS or other conditions associated with HIV. Australia's national theme for 2020 is Now More Than Ever. Across Australia, 40 events will be taking place, including community forums, webinars and presentations, vigils and memorial ceremonies. Due to limits on group gatherings, Thorn Harbour Health's annual World AIDS Day Memorial cannot be held at the Living Positive Centre this year and will instead be a live-streamed event. The online version of the Remembrance Ceremony will share memories of loved ones via video messages from the community. And finally, for now, to Queensland, where the 30th Brisbane Pride Month concludes this weekend with the annual Fair Day on Saturday. Like most of the events at this year's festival, Fair Day is a live event taking place at New Farm Park with COVID-safe measures in place. I'll be back a little later with more from Joy News.
Judy.
You know what I love about this segment? I think we brought it up before, that it's always positive.
Yeah.
You know, it's delivering the news, but it's news that we want to hear, especially throughout the whole year when we wanted to hear stories of positivity, and Judy just delivers that every single time.
She does. Well done, Judy.
And Ashton,
Oh.
we were just wondering, what are we doing in November?
I don't know, but I liked
It
it.
looks good, Ashton.
Oh, it reminded me of like Magnum.
Oh, yes.
Yes, not the ice cream. I am, well, we are now.
Oh, you made Luke
Oh,
laugh.
we've got laughs.
Luke's got, that's it. It's, oh, yeah.
There we go. We're allowed an audience again.
We've got a couple of people behind the cameras, which is very exciting to have some of our
Yes.
Joy team here with us. So, yay!
Yes.
We said they're allowed to. We said they're allowed to laugh, so we better be funny, Dolly. It's all up to you.
Exactly. So long as you don't touch us. It is, I believe it's the 13th year of the
Yes.
Heart of St Kilda.
Yeah, an amazing concept and
Yes.
organisation, fundraising. But you don't want to hear it from us. We want to hear from the man himself who's part of it.
The Mr. Brian Nankervis is joining us right now. Brian, are you there?
Yes, good evening, Dolly and Kerrie. How are you both?
Oh,
Oh,
we're very well.
Very well, thank you. We're
Very
so
well.
thrilled that you are joining us. Of course, we know you from being on such incredible shows like RocKwiz and across all our networks, but you're here to talk us through a really important night that is happening about our beloved St Kilda. Tell us all about it.
Absolutely. Look, this is a show that's been happening this is our 13th year.
Wow.
And your mob have always been incredibly supportive, spreading the word. It's called the Heart of St Kilda Concert, and it happens every year, and it raises valuable funds for the Sacred Heart Mission. They have a meals kitchen at their headquarters in Grey Street, St Kilda, and basically they provide around about 400 meals a day.
Wow.
This is open to anyone. Excuse me. They serve breakfast and lunch, and it's an incredibly valuable centre, because people, not only can they turn up and get a feed, but the mission is very smart. They have a range of counsellors and health workers there, and you know what it's like when you're eating, you relax a little, and rather than just trying to survive on the streets with no help, they can go to the Sacred Heart Mission. So every year for the last 12 years, we've put on a big show at the Palais Theatre called the Heart of St Kilda. This year, things were looking a little bit dicey. Obviously, we can't do our normal show with 2,000 people in the Palais Theatre. And for a while there, we thought, it's too hard. And then someone realised, well, we raise about $100,000 every year, and that keeps the meals kitchen going. Take away the concert, and suddenly they've got to find the money to keep providing the meals from somewhere else. So we decided to do it as a live stream event.
Fantastic, fantastic. And of course, like so many great concerts that couldn't do it live, they've gone online, which broadens, of course, your viewership. So you're not just doing it at the Palais in Melbourne, you can now go international because you've got some really amazing names on your list. Who's going to be performing for you?
Look, it's really exciting. I think we, as you said, we can broaden, we can spread our wings. And I thought, look, why not ask a couple of performers who we've never been able to have on the show, partly because they either the logistics don't work, but often because they don't live anywhere near us. So I sent an email to Billy Bragg, and he responded very, very quickly. I think, in a way, Billy's a sports fan and spent quite a few years touring with Weddings, Parties, Anything, who are all mad St Kilda supporters. So I think Billy is going to perform a football song, a St Kilda football song. We approached Kev Carmody up there in southern Queensland. We approached Marlon Williams, who is sort of locked down, if you like, in New Zealand. And we've actually, for a couple of years, we've been trying to get Marlon. But the other really interesting one is Rick Springfield.
Wow.
You remember
very
Jesse's
Wow.
Girl?
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
remember it.
Ruth.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Rick was the lead guitarist in the band Zoot, and they were all set to tour Australia again. They were going to be playing in the Palais this year, but obviously that didn't happen. So Rick has recorded a song in his studio. So these people have been incredibly generous. They've set up in studios, and you know, we were after something that's beautiful looking. We didn't just want someone popping an iPhone there and recording themselves. So Rick has recorded a song in his studio, and then in the Palais Theatre the day before, we've got artists like Missy Higgins, Alice Skye, Jen Clower, the Marindas, and opening the show and closing the show, The Living End.
Oh, wow, that's a
That is
great
amazing,
lineup.
isn't it?
What an-
I would imagine all of those artists, they know where the money is going. They
Yes.
know what good they're doing, and it makes all the difference.
Yeah. Well, you know what it's like, Dolly. Performers are often the first, musicians and comedians and cabaret performers are often the first to be asked to do these benefits. And you know what it's like, the vibe, the atmosphere at a benefit is usually incredible. This will be a little bit different. The performers at the Palais will be performing in an empty room, but I think there's something exciting about that because it's such a beautiful theatre. Empty, it takes on its own quality.
Yeah.
Well, it's you're right, Brian. It's the spirit behind it too. Like, you know, they know the message, or they know that the people that are there for the cause, which is a really wonderful thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and look, I think it's worth pointing out that this pandemic has a whole range of ramifications, and one of those is that there are more people who are doing it tough. You know, it's been really tough, and a lot of people are out of work. A lot of people are on the streets, and so the meals program at the Sacred Heart Mission in Grey Street, St Kilda, just do an incredible job. And our tickets are very reasonably priced. I think it's $40 or $41 a ticket. The mission can make a meal for $4. So you buy a ticket and you've bought 10 meals, you know, and it's great. And yeah, you watch it from the comfort of your own home.
Yes.
Yeah,
you are always a very generous man, and we are, you know, and you do this year on, year off.
Yeah.
And we are grateful for you to do that, and even more grateful that you could join us tonight.
Yes. Great.
We
Well,
love you,
thank you.
darling.
It's been a real pleasure.
We are isn't it lovely?
Yeah, heaven.
Well done, my love.
Thank you, Dolly. Thank you, Kerrie.
Yeah, it's going to be a
Lovely
really
man,
lovely,
isn't he?
lovely night
Yes.
too.
And Ticketmaster. You can get your tickets at Ticketmaster.
Yeah, Luke's popped all that information
Oh,
in our
did he?
notes.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
he's like that. He's a
1 week.
very busy executive producer.
Oh, he's just-
Oh, and he's giggling. I didn't think it was that funny. I mean, it doesn't take much, does it?
No.
I think he's just tired.
I used to work with him. Yes.
What,
Late
ti-
80s.
Teaching him some songs.
Oh, I know.
Writing out the words to songs.
Oh, feeling good. Adam. Yeah.
How quick we knock him. We only had him singing the other week.
We've only got 1 more week with him.
Oh.
I know. Then he goes back.
Right. Where are we putting him? Right. It is time for our fabulous community
Oh, we
darling.
look forward to this each and every week.
We do. It's always a great story, but we never know what he's going to be wearing.
No, I get a funny feeling he doesn't know either.
No.
No.
Let's cross to him now. Hello, darling Dean.
Hello, lovely Kerrie and Dolly. How are you? Ahoy, ahoy.
Oh, I feel like going, oui, oui.
Yes.
Oh, bonjour.
Am I French? Am I a sailor? It's a little bit of everything.
Yes, we
You
never
are-
ever know.
We know you are a bit of everything, darling,
You
and that's
really
what
are.
we love about you so much.
You're not wrong.
What have you got for us this week, honey?
Well, as we all know, World AIDS Day is coming up next Tuesday. So what I thought I'd do in the lead up to that, as a part of tonight's Community Darling, is actually touch base with some individuals and organisations that are part of people who are living with HIV here within Victoria, and find out what lockdown and COVID's been like for them. Because I was in a lot of chats and things, and people were kind of like, oh, it must be really difficult. There's a pandemic, there's an epidemic, there's so much going on. And for people living with HIV, that must bring up a lot of trauma. But you know what I decided to do is actually, instead of assuming it, I just asked them. And it's really interesting to find out what it's been like for the organisations and for the individuals. Because just like with everything else that we do, it's as varied as everything in life. But it was really wonderful to take this time in the show this week just to focus and listen to people living with HIV about what it's been like for them over the past 8 or 9 months.
Great.
Great conversation to have and
Yes.
question to ask.
Absolutely. I was really, really proud to do it. And I'm really looking forward to everyone seeing it and sharing a bit more awareness.
Oh, well, we are ready,
Lovely.
young man. Well done.
Let's do it.
I have lived with HIV for 30 years and I've lost way over 100 friends and colleagues during that period. However, when we lost somebody, we could hold each other. My experience as a woman living with HIV during the COVID epidemic has been quite interesting.
I personally found it quite confronting to have people treat me as if I was diseased because of COVID. And even though I understood the context and it made sense and logically there was a very kind of valid reason for people to be very standoffish towards everyone, it was very confronting for me because it really brought back all of that kind of trauma that happened when I was newly diagnosed.
The connection is important. There's a lot going on in a positive person's life. It's not, a lot of people, positive people don't just wear HIV on their sleeve.
During COVID, it's been fascinating to see, I guess, a bit of a split in the response between people who are doing a bit tougher in COVID and those who are kind of rolling with the punches a bit more and less affected.
We wanted to set up a network where people would kind of call each other every couple of days just to check in on each other. And originally we had it in mind for kind of the elders living with HIV. Our original demographic for that phone tree was quite different to the reality.
I can't imagine what it would be like to be diagnosed as HIV positive during this time. That would be tough to go through it, to reach out to an organisation, which I think everybody should do if they are diagnosed, but not to be able to meet face to face.
Anyone who was newly diagnosed could only speak to people on the phone, which still better than nothing, but the idea of peer navigation and the idea of providing an ideal method of peer support is to talk face to face directly with someone immediately, as soon as possible.
Every person living with HIV has their own journey, but quite often you get similar threads that run through it. And sometimes it's just really nice to sit down with someone who can just go, I know, I get it, and just kind of have that empathy towards you and your situation.
I could never have imagined that the world would go through another pandemic. And this one's been so rapid and we've had to do it alone, and many of us live alone. I found it emotionally incredibly challenging. And I think maybe I have resilience because of what I've gone through with HIV.
TIM, or the Institute of Many, is Australia's largest now grassroots platform for people living with HIV. We really have been able to chart in real time online engagement and social connection for people living with HIV through the kind of brave new world of U=U and PrEP, and so many things have changed in the last 8 years. But what hasn't changed is people living with HIV's need for connection.
Even now, I'm a little trepid about going out into the world. I'm taking like baby steps.
We do experience higher rates of social isolation and loneliness than the general population, and that's when you consider that queer people are already experiencing high levels of isolation and social anxiety. So we really do need to be there to take care of each other.
Not being able to hug people was the hardest, I think. Not being able to hold anybody in my arms for 8 months. I mean, I think it was since March that I hadn't touched another human until just a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, that was really, really difficult. Just wanting that physical contact with another person and not being able to have it. I found that really difficult.
During COVID, it's been really fascinating to observe the way that conversations have been going between the multiple generations as well. We've had older team members who are survivors of the AIDS crisis here in Australia, acknowledging that the AIDS crisis is not over globally, and that experience there has been really mixed. I think for some of those community elders, they were feeling very triggered by what was happening. All of a sudden, the entire country is talking about a pandemic again. People are afraid again. They are very quick to judge. We are very quick to criminalise, sensationalist media reports, all that sort of stuff. That all felt and sounded very familiar to the people who endured the AIDS crisis in Australia here in the 80s and 90s. On the flip side, some of those survivors used that time and lived through that time, and it made them more resilient. They felt they had the skills to be ready for that kind of mass social panic about a particular pandemic. For those of us who didn't experience that time, this is the first time in our lives that we had experienced this kind of mass panic. I think we were younger people living with HIV also experienced triggering levels of anxiety, because they know what it's like to be stigmatised and to be criminalised, to be rejected, to have witch hunts going after them in their community.
So Gen Next is a youth group for people living with HIV. It's specifically for people under 30, and it's kind of a half-half of like health education and socialising. So every second event that we have is a social outing where there's no real agenda other than people coming together and meeting, and then every other event is we will have a specific topic for a forum for people who are kind of new to HIV to be aware of.
We have a project called Taking Charge, and it's a project for people who are 50 plus. We have monthly sort of sessions where it's a mix of health promotion, social, and we also run 6-week self-management programs.
We operate online. We have Tim, our main online group. We have Tim Women, a group exclusively for anyone who identifies as a woman living with HIV. And earlier this year in COVID, we launched Tim Families, which is an online space for families of people affected by HIV. So that could be people born living with HIV, parents with one or more HIV positive partners, or parents and families of people thinking about having kids who are living with HIV.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, another great story. And thank you to all the wonderful people that reached out and spoke to Dean. We love your honesty and thank you for sharing your stories with us.
Very much.
Right. Now, this lovely next musical performance, well, for our darling viewers that have been with us for a while, you may recall that we've had this lovely gentleman, Elvin Lam, as one of our interpreters when we first came on with having interpreters. And his fabulous partner, David Campbell, is an opera singer and a music teacher, and together they put together this beautiful number exclusively for us, and we want you to have a look at it now. Please enjoy.
Hello, my name is Elvin Lam, and I am a deaf performer. You've seen me perform on the Kerrie and Dolly show. I'd like to introduce David Campbell. He will be singing today. This song is in a mixture of Italian and English. I would also like to introduce Alex Byrne. She'll be accompanying us on the piano. The song we'll be performing today is Unchained Melody. You may have seen this song before in the movie Ghost. Thank you, Kerrie and Dolly, for having us on the show today, and we hope you enjoy our performance. Oh, my love, my darling, I've hungered for your touch a long, lonely time, and time goes by so slowly, and time can do so much. Are you still mine? I need your love. I need your love. God speed your love to me. Quando è cesso, dove sei, cosa fai, e dovunque andrai sentirai lonely riverside. Wait for me, wait for me, I'll be coming home. Wait for me. Non ho più catene, ma solo piange il cuore lontano da te. Non ho più catene, perché so che il tuo amor è solo per me. E so che un dì ti rivedrò, ti stringerò ancora.
That was
Beautiful, wasn't it?
No, that was amazing.
Really, really beautiful.
I know, we kind of just sat back and I'm like, oh, it's like,
I know.
It's lovely.
Oh, absolutely wonderful.
Thank you,
Elvin
boys.
and David.
stunning.
Oh, if
And of
we'd
course-
known, we'd have got you on earlier.
And of course, Elvin is also a professional dancer as well. So you can just see that expression was beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you so much, darling boys. That was really heaven.
I do feel it would have added a little more if there was a little pottery wheel, though. And your reach bit doesn't matter. We can do that the next one. Though.
I can certainly see
Absolutely
that.
Gorgeous.
I just pictured you with that pottery.
Oh,
wheel
I'm
just there.
yes. I've got my fingering. I'm all
You've got-
good with the
you're good with the fingering?
all the
Who
clay.
would
and
you
all
like
that.
to be behind you?
Anyone,
Anyone?
right?
Oh,
And
that
in
just
another
came
language.
out. I just
In another language as well.
Stunning.
Oh, yes, absolutely gorgeous.
Lovely.
Really loved it. All right.
Yes.
Moving on.
We are.
All right, my love. We are now going to get on the line the CEO of Living Positive Victoria. It is the one and only Rich Keane. Are you there, my love?
Yes, I am. Good evening to Dolly and Kerrie. How are you this evening?
Oh, we're well. Look
Very
at that
well,
for
thank
a
you.
backdrop.
That's giving our backdrop a
Oh,
little run
I
for its money, I have to
know.
say.
Oh, we want that.
You are on brand, aren't you,
Yes.
honey?
I am. I'm doing the World AIDS Day red in the background.
Well,
And
it looks amazing.
thank you very much. And thank you for having me on to have a little bit of a chat this evening.
Yeah, well, we want to know all about it. What is on the way?
So we've got a whole range of events, and I guess rather than going through them individually, I can just direct your viewers to our website at livingpositivevictoria.org.au. In particular, the launch of World AIDS Day, we have the Honourable Martin Foley, who's our Health Minister, launching the event, as well as a couple of positive speakers from our Speakers Bureau. And that's the way we kind of kick off the event each year. So we're really looking forward to it. This year's theme is Now More Than Ever. And I guess after what we've been through in Victoria in the last 12 months, now more than ever, I guess I'm reflecting on, first of all, my pride in being a Melburnian. It's been a really hard year, but we've gotten through it together, and we've gotten through it with community at our heart. And I believe that that's what we've always done as a HIV positive community as well. And I think it's something that we can be really proud on, our own resilience that we've built throughout this year and staying connected by whatever means that we can.
Well, isn't it? That was beautifully done.
It really was. Yeah, that was very
right
well
on,
said.
wasn't
Yeah.
it? Wow. I guess I want to know why now more than ever. Is that for me though? What we've said nearly every episode, being online means that there's more of a global reach, and there's a lot of people around the world that have been affected with HIV and AIDS. And so an event like this on World AIDS Day really matters, doesn't it?
It does, and it matters now more than ever. I think we've been lost in a little bit of what's happened in the last 12 months, and there's still people who are diagnosed with HIV every year, and we're looking at those communities and they're becoming far more diverse. They're becoming far more isolated and marginalised. Community members like international students and other people who don't necessarily have the same rights and access as we do as full citizens of Australia. And we're ensuring that now more than ever that we leave nobody behind when we're dealing with HIV and reaching into those communities with those important prevention messages, as well as connecting them to care.
All those rural areas.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I guess earlier this year, I was on having a chat to you both before we did our AIDS Memorial Candlelight Vigil event, and that reached 1,500 people, including a whole range of people, which is the highest level we've ever had of engagement for that event, including rural people. So we're really reaching out. And we've got a range of panels with really interesting people from the response talking about this year and talking about not only the separate challenges of this year, but also the synergies between those two responses. You know, we lost 8,000 people to AIDS in those early years, and it was a very, very significant impact on our community. And I think what's happened this year gives us a new ability now more than ever to kind of link in with people around issues like disease stigma, issues around marginalisation of people with disease and other things like that. So we've got a real opportunity to not only focus on what we've all been through in a collective lived experience this year, but what the lived experience of HIV has been and the proud traditions of community engagement, particularly across the LGBTIQ plus community.
Gosh, it's
and wonderful, Richard. And what sort of comes to mind too is, of course, what we've learnt through all of this too is, like you said, a way to communicate. You know, you've broadened your horizons through the interwebs and so forth, and are providing that platform moving forward. Is this something too that you'll be really focusing on, knowing that this is, you know, having great reach?
Yeah, and some of the things that we've been putting on this year, our positive friends in Tasmania have been able to participate, people from South Australia, and what I hope might happen in the future is when we have specific forums that we open that up to people that, like you said, are in remote states or in smaller population states and don't have the access to strong community engagement in the way that we do in Victoria, New South Wales and Queensland. So I think there's a whole range of possibilities to reach out and develop some equity amongst those communities as well.
Where we'll be able to get our ribbons?
Okay, so we've got a fantastic virtual red ribbon fundraiser this year, and if you go via our website at livingpositivevictoria.org.au, you can purchase a $2, a $5 or a $10 virtual ribbon, which you can share on your social media and other platforms as well. So we're really excited about the potential to raise some funds to help us support the vital work that we do supporting all people with HIV in Victoria.
Fantastic. That's a really great review.
You are brilliant, isn't he?
Well, amazing.
Oh, we want all our guests with this knowledge. We love it. Oh, well done,
And I
young
just
man.
want to thank you both too. And I know that we checked in earlier this year, and I've been following Joy TV and Kerrie and Dolly, and it really has been an essential way to keep our community together and to really re-emphasise that really strong, proud tradition of community around LGBTIQ communities. And it's something that we really value and something that really adds to the quality of life of all of our community members. So I just want to thank you both for the opportunity to engage with
Thank
you.
you so much. It's our pleasure. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it really
And
is.
thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Right. But, you know, like so many great events, they are online, which gives the opportunity for so many more people to jump on board and to be a part of it.
Well, you're right, and a lot of those details are up right now, and now more than ever, and that's exactly right. Richard was amazing, wasn't he?
Oh, incredible.
Amazing.
He's very busy, no doubt.
Yes.
Speaking of busy, so one of our friends of the show is a piano bar. You've performed there many times.
Love it.
But like so many businesses, of course, throughout the pandemic, they had to switch things around and work out a way so they could survive, and that's exactly what they did. And joining us now is the co-owner of Piano Bar. There's multiple venues there now, but he joins us now from Geelong. Hello, Aaron. Are you there, darling? Hello.
Hi, Kerrie. Hi, Dolly. So good to see you both.
Oh,
it's
look,
great to see you.
handsome, isn't he?
I think you are one of the busiest working people right throughout the whole pandemic that was going on. You've got multiple venues. Of course, I saw you a couple of weeks ago at Piano Bar Geelong. I do apologise. Say that again. Piano Bar Bendigo in the laneway.
that many.
There were so many. I couldn't get out. It was a fabulous night, and you pivoted, which is amazing. How's it all going for you? You're so busy.
Yeah, well, busy's the only way to be, really, at the moment. It's really what's helped get us through. It was so good to see you in Bendigo the other week, and we're so happy that we could get that new venue off the ground. We do have to say, the state government and council they've been really good at helping, find some spaces that we can activate and have outdoor spaces, which is what you previewed in the laneway in Bendigo.
I'm imagining now, when you were a little boy, did you ever imagine you'd have this many venues?
I wouldn't say I would imagine that we would have this many venues. I always did want to own a bar, but to have 4 now, it is pretty incredible. We have an amazing team of people that work with us. My co-owner Andy, he's been incredible, doing 100 live streams, like yourself, working so hard to keep people entertained and find something different, to connect with people through this. So well done to you both through it as well. And obviously Wendy and Joss as well. We've all and all the broader team all just really, come together to try to just push through and find a way to work through this. And we're so proud to say, this year for us really was just about survival, and we've come so much further in that, managing to open another venue during the time, and some further exciting things along the way that we always have installed.
It would have been really easy to just go, no, I don't want to do it. I'm unable to do it. But right from the beginning, they did it, didn't they?
Yeah, absolutely. The live streaming every night, which was amazing, and of course bringing some acts in when they could.
Yeah.
But what I love, is the piano bar model. It is clearly it's such a wonderful experience to any of our darling viewers who have not been able to get into a venue. At least check them out online, but certainly when you can go live, get in there, because people just love to be entertained, and that's exactly what it is.
Can I just quickly also just touch on that? It's so easy just to not do something. I think it's important to highlight that also through this, that I had struggles with mental health as well. I did have days where you just could not get out of bed. It just piled up. And it's something that happened to all of us. But making those tasks and having those things to look forward to is what got us through, and having the support of people around us. So don't want anyone out there just to think you can just push through it, because it was hard. And I do want to recognize everyone else that has struggled through that, and thank everyone for their support. And I just found, just getting into some type of routine when your routine's just completely thrown out the window. But we love what we do, and we're so excited that we are back on board with all venues open now. And what gives me great joy is seeing the joy on everyone's faces as they come and experience something, particularly in regional Victoria, where they don't have the same opportunities that you guys have in central Melbourne. Although we did have a bit more of an opportunity during the lockdown than you guys. I do feel sorry for your very hard lockdown for the while. So well done for doing the hard for us there.
I wonder, is it right that you almost lost your license when Luke Gallagher got up and did a number? Is that right? I don't know.
It was very close. I did have a couple of please explains to the council.
Yes.
No, he was absolutely fabulous, and it was so great to have Luke and some of his friends on there, and particularly for him to jump up and grab on the microphone. It was awesome to have him there.
He doesn't remember any of it. Not a thing.
Well, it's part of the piano bar experience.
I know, we know.
There's maybe a lazy bag at the door.
Exactly. Oh, well, you and everyone involved work your little butts off, and we're glad you could join us tonight.
So happy to be on the show, and we can't wait to see you both there and as many of your viewers. Thanks for all your lovely work and your great entertainment. Love you both. Mwah.
To you too, darling. Thank you.
Thank you.
Judy Kelly with more from Joy News. The recipients of this year's Mardi Gras Community Grants Programme have been announced this week. In the third year of the programme, 11 organisations, charities or individuals will receive grants of up to $10,000 each across arts, education, community services and technology. Grants have been awarded to film, theatre and video art projects, an Aboriginal Artists Cooperative, an advocacy group for LGBTI elders and the Pride in Sport Community Programme. There's also funding for financial literacy workshops for LGBTI youth and for a market-first Australian queer community resources app. Following their Rainbow Pledge campaign during the recent local election, the Victorian Pride Lobby has created a guide to support councillors to meet the criteria of the pledge. The Rainbow Local Government Implementation Guide provides case studies, tips and resources for newly elected councillors to meet the 5 LGBTIQA+ priorities of the pledge. Over 720 candidates took the pledge, and the campaign contributed to a doubling of the number of LGBTIQA+ candidates and elected candidates at local government. And finally, in tech news, a new app developed by a former Amazon Alexa engineer claims it will translate your cat's meow. Meow Talk's database includes phrases like "I'm hungry," "I'm angry," and "leave me alone," and will use machine learning software to build accuracy with individual feline users. Eventually, developers hope to build the technology into a smart collar, which would instantly translate the wearer's meow into a human voice. I've been Judy Kelly, and that's the latest from Joy TV News. Now it's back to Kerrie and Dolly.
Now, why are we not surprised that Judy has done a story on cats?
Oh, she loves them.
Loves her pussies, doesn't
Yes. 1 week, she doesn't matter. Absolutely wonderful, isn't it?
Lovely.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
Amazing.
All
Now,
right.
our final guest for this evening has a book out called Hello Titty. Now, no guesses what it's about. But we want to hear all about it from the author herself. Hello, Martha. Are you there? Hello.
Hi, guys. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, well, we are ready. We want to know all about your book.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so it's called Hello Titty, and it's about the appreciation of the female body. And basically, it's a lot of photographs of breasts, which are very engaging. And then there's a lot of poetry which I've written. So the poems have been written over the course of this year, and they're quite like some of them are quite sexy with what they're talking about, and then some of them are more sort of your kind of literary kind of vibe. Yes. But yeah, it was a wonderful time to be able to write something to sort of have a kind of cathartic break from
Yes,
what was
everything
going on
that's been going
everywhere
on.
else.
I would imagine. Were the
Yeah.
women immediately eager to get them out?
Yeah, so the book, that's sorry, to get the book out, has been a rewarding thing to do. But I during the whole course of this year, of course, it's been a tough time for everyone, and especially the arts community. So it's kind of like been my ambition to put this together, and I'll show you the cover. So here it
I
is.
love that.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
Oh, it's gorgeous. I love it.
And
is it, Martha, has it been
Yeah.
something that's been floated, like many creative projects that have come out of ISO, like you said, you've spent that time being able to put your mind to it. Has this idea been floating around with you for quite some time? And if so, how did it come about? Where does it come from?
Yeah, the idea's been around in my head for quite a while. I've been writing poetry since I was a teenager, and I've just really never actually got anything published till this year. So, that's been the drive. But I think I'm a visual arts person in my other role. I do installation art. So this has been kind of that other creative outlet for me to do something that's it's coming from a different part of my creative being, and
Yes.
to be able to put pen to paper and to have something that people can hold in their hands and read and appreciate, and I hope people, and especially women, can take from this, a feeling of empowerment and a bit of joy and a bit of just something nice to have for the end of this year, I hope. Anyway,
Yes.
yeah.
Well, isn't that what it's all about? It's about being comfortable with your own body, isn't it? We are
Absolutely.
all many, many shapes and
Yep.
sizes.
And what came to mind having this conversation is that there's so much censorship that goes on online. Recently on Instagram, Celeste Barber posted, as she does parodies of model shots and what have you, and there was a massive uproar because she parodied this photograph and there was a bit of side boob going on, still very tasteful and what have you, and Instagram censored it immediately. And then there was this movement that came behind it, and there was 3 women, I can't remember the names off by heart at the moment, but got rallied behind it initially to go, okay, there's double standards going on here, and we need to be able to. It's not pornographic.
No.
There's not where they were coming from.
Yeah.
So it's great that something like this is coming out as well. Go, you know what? Women, we've got them.
Yeah.
So we've all got them.
Yeah.
And to see something in print to go with some beautiful poetry, like what a great
I mean,
medium.
a lot of men have got them, haven't they?
That's true.
Some are bigger than ours. We've got, while we're having our little natter, we've had a few of your images up. We've also got where the book is available.
Yes.
But we wanted to say thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Been a pleasure. Thank you for having me. Okay, thanks.
That book looks beautiful, actually.
Really
I
does.
love the cover. You can tell that Martha comes from a design background because that cover
yes.
looks really fabulous.
What a great interview. All right, we have reached the end of the concert.
Yes. We've only got one more episode to go. So you must join us. Oh, first we want to say hello to Melissa, friend of the show, is a good friend of yours who's in quarantine in Brizzy. Hello, darling. I know you're doing it well done. You're getting through there.
Oh, she's got loads of wine. She's surrounded by goon bags.
Is that right?
Oh, she'll be all right.
But thank you to each and every one of you that watch us and make your comments and everything. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Next week, a final episode. It's going to be a corker.
Yes, I'm sure it'll be emotional as well.
And that, really?
Yeah. No, it will. Make sure you join
I'll be doing
us.
all the acting.
Oh,
No, anyway, we are going to have a lovely conversation with the Minister of Health, the Honourable Martin Foley, who will be joining us.
Commissioner Roallen.
And musical performances from Conleith Caine. He's been with us before and he's got a new song for us, which is very exciting. And our very own Sexy Galexi will be singing
And
for us
lots,
next week.
lots more.
Yeah, so please join us next week for our last episode for 2020. We look forward to seeing you and to be here for you. Take care, everybody. Good night.